Hello, my name's Amanda and welcome to another one of my quilt block tutorials. In today's video I am going to be showing you the block that I have used to piece together the quilt that is behind me. I have had so many requests to do this block, so here it is for you to enjoy. So the block in question is this one. It is called the diamond square block. It's kind of a variation of a true diamond square block, but that's what I'm going to call it. It is a bit of a big one. You can see that I'm kind of struggling to get it into the shot. The final measurement of this block is about 18.5 inches squared, and it is made up of 16 5-inch half square triangles. Now I have to say that this block is pretty easy to piece together if you are confident in making half square triangles. If you're a beginner to patchwork and you're looking for something that's a little bit more of a challenge, I would say that this is a great block for you to try. Now, of course, all of the measurements and cutting instructions for this block, as usual, are down in the description box below if you want to give this block a go. And here are the steps that you will need to take to make this block. To make this block, you will need 8 white squares and 8 assorted print squares, all cut at 5.5 inches. The first step in the construction of this block is to make 16 half square triangles. To do this, mark a diagonal line on the back of each of the white squares using a ruler and lead pencil. Pair up each white square with a print square, right sides together, and place a pin in the center. Once all squares are pinned together, place the edge of the machine foot along the left-hand side of the pencil line and sew a 1/4 inch seam. Slowly and carefully feed through the next pair of squares. Continue to do this until you have chain stitched the rest of the paired squares through. Once reaching the end, remove the chain of squares from the machine. Turn them around and sew another 1/4 inch seam along the other side of the pencil line. After sewing all the squares through once more, snip all of the joining threads. Then take your ruler and blade and cut the squares in half along the pencil line, resulting in 2 half square triangles. Cut the rest of the squares in half in the same way. Next, set the seam and press each half square triangle unit towards the print fabric, using a medium to hot steamy iron. Lastly, using a set square, trim all 16 half square triangles to a perfect 5-inch square. To do this, line up the 45-degree line on the ruler along the center seam, while ensuring that the 5-inch measurement lines are on the inside edge of the half square triangle unit. Once you're happy with the ruler placement, confidently trim the first 2 edges off using your blade. Spin the block around, line up the 5-inch measurement lines along the 2 edges you've just cut, and place the 45-degree line back along the center seam. Trim down the other 2 edges, and that's your perfect 5-inch half square triangle unit ready to be pieced. Repeat the last few steps to trim down the other 15 half square triangles. Lay out the half square triangles in this way. When I do it, I try to place light and dark fabrics next to each other so that they pop out and compete for attention. Also, try to place the half square triangles with the same fabric on opposite sides of the block. This will add a sense of balance to the finished result. Once your layout is finalized, piece the half square triangles together into 4 rows of 4. Starting at the top, flip one unit onto the other. Pin if needed, and then sew a 1/4 inch seam along that edge. Open the 2 units out and flip the next one in line on top. Pin again if needed and sew another 1/4 inch seam along this edge. Flip and sew on the last square, then repeat the same steps to piece together the next 3 rows of half square triangle units. To press each of the rows, flip them over and roughly open the seams using your fingertips. Then, with a medium to hot steamy iron, press the seams flat open, giving the top side of the row a good press as well. Next, take the top 2 rows of the block, flipping the first one over onto the second. Line up the 2 center seams and top edges with each other and then pin into place. Ensure the 2 other seams on either side of the block align and then pin them into place as well. Patiently sew a 1/4 inch line along the pinned edge, ensuring that open seams are laying flat before carefully sewing over them. After that, open the 2 rows out, and on the back, roughly press open the seam like before. Gently press it flat, not forgetting to press the top of the rows as well. After repeating the same step to sew the other 2 rows in the block together, flip the top section onto the bottom. Line up the center seams again and pin the edge into place. Sew one last 1/4 inch seam along the pinned edge, taking your time as you go over the open seams. Open the rows out, then roughly open the seam with your fingers first, and then press it flat with the iron. After giving the block a final press, use a ruler and blade to square up the block. It should measure close to 18.5 inches squared. And that is your diamond square block finished. So as you can see on the quilt behind me, we've got the block that we've just made just here, just right there, and you just simply piece them all together to create this type of diamond crisscrossy type pattern. And when you do, you will also get like a second pattern coming through, which is sort of this sort of section here, or this one. Now my quilt is made up of 110 half square triangles. It has 10 half square triangles in each row, and there's 11 rows. And from memory, I think the final measurement of the quilt is about 130 by 120, that's centimeters. But if you would like to know a little bit more about the quilt top that is behind me, there is a link down below to a blog post that I've written about it. The quilt actually isn't finished, it's just the quilt top at the moment. But when I have finished quilting it and binding it, I will definitely put more information on my blog as well. And as always, if you are going to give this blog a go, let me know. I would absolutely love to know how it all went, and I would love to see the blocks that you have made. The best place that you can share what you make with me is on Instagram. If you aren't a private account, you can simply just tag me at 3 3/4 in your pictures, and I will definitely be able to see them. And of course, if you are not on Instagram, you can share them with me on my Facebook page, and the link to that is down below as well. Now, of course, if you'd like to see more of the things that I do on my channel, don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you come and join us as we do more quilt block tutorials and crafty things and lots of other fun things as well. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you another time very, very soon. Bye! Hello, my name is Amanda and welcome to another one of my quilt block tutorials. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful Granny Squares block. Now this is a great block to start off with if you are a beginner to patchwork, because it